Okay, now we're ready to actually get started with this thing. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a sort of kart racing game for 2 players, or maybe even 4, who knows. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a basic track. Now, this is going to be very basic. There are 2 ways to build stuff in Unity. The first one I like to call basic shapes. Second one is Pro Builder, which is the package that we installed just up here. We're going to go over basic shapes, and then we're going to make a level in Pro Builder, and then we're going to combine the 2 and make a 3rd level. So this one is just going to be basic shapes, and I'm going to show you more how to manipulate cubes, spheres, and stuff like that. So I don't know if you've noticed, but up the top we have all these buttons here. These correspond to what tool is currently selected in the scene view. So right now we have the move tool, and it allows us to have these little arrows where we can move our cube anywhere. We can also use the transform component as well. There's the rotate tool, which you can rotate stuff around. Pretty self-explanatory. We have the scale tool, which again lets you scale stuff up. We have the rect tool, which is similar to that, but it also is used for other stuff like UI and stuff. You can also rotate with it. Basically turns your selection into a rectangle. This is more for like 2D projects as well as 3D. So as you can see, depending on where I am, I can move it around. And then finally, we have something I like to call the all-in-one tool, which puts every single tool, except for the rect one, and you can basically do whatever you want with it. So it's move, scale, rotate, cool stuff. Just going to undo this, put it back to the middle. There's also custom editor tools as well. For example, you can change a collider for the box. We're not going to go into that just yet. Basically, if you do have any custom stuff you've bought or you're using from the asset store, that's where you'll find it. I almost exclusively use the move tool, but you can switch tools using keys. So for example, R is scale and stuff like that. So let's go over how we're actually going to make a track. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make it out of shapes. So imagine you're in a room with Lego and you want to build like a racetrack. What would you do? You'd get a load of little pieces together and you'd essentially form sort of something out of that. So and that's basically what we're going to be doing in Unity. However, I'm just going to make it very basic. I'm going to be very lazy. So this cube here, as we saw earlier, we can change the scale of it. So I'm just going to scale it up. We're going to make a nice long sort of cube. So I'm going to scale it to 25. As you can see, it's pretty long. Also going to scale it out this way. So maybe 5. You can input values here. Maybe a bit bigger, maybe 10. A bit too big. We'll go with 7. So that's pretty cool. So now we have sort of a flat sort of surface that we can, drive along. Let's go over corners. So if we want to add another cube, same thing, add it like that. What we can also do is we can select the cube that we already have, that's all stretched out and everything, and then press Control D. Control D will duplicate the selected object. You also press Control C and Control V to copy and paste. Control X also works for cutting as well. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab this cube, move it forward, and we're just going to slightly rotate it. Oh god, wrong way. Make sure to do it on the right axes. I'm just going to line it up like so. There we go. So now we have sort of a curve. Obviously, you could do a much, much better job of doing this. But obviously, I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. And you can take as much time as you want while doing this. And again, what we can do, select the cube, or we can also click and drag to select multiple objects. Oh, there we go. I'm just going to deselect directional light. Control D to duplicate. I'm just going to move these out and rotate them together. And line them up just like so. So now we have sort of a curve in our track. Let's do elevation. So I'm just going to duplicate this little cube here. And I'm going to rotate it. Nope. Rotate on the Z axis. And we'll do a 10 degree. Actually, we'll go 15. We'll make it slightly sharper. There we go. Lovely stuff. And we'll pull that back. Now, it does look a little bit messy, but we will clear it up eventually. You'll notice that this intersects here. And basic rule of thumb is, if the camera can't see it, it's fine. But I'm just going to scale this and make it slightly more presentable. There we go. Lovely stuff. So now we have sort of a ramp upwards. Again, we can duplicate this, move this up, and sort out the rotation. And sort of just line it up with this. Like so. There we go. There is a little bit sticking out, so I'm just going to move it down ever so slightly. You can fine adjust by just typing in numbers. I'm going to go 3.79. There we go. So we should be able to clear that gap. You can use like really fine decimal points if you want to do that. I'm going to be lazy again and grab our curve from earlier. Control D. I'm going to move it over. And this curve is going to be slightly more aggressive. So I'm going to lower that down and rotate around. So this is almost going to be like a T junction. So you come off the ramp. Or actually, we'll give it a little bit more space. So we'll actually scale this out. Move it forward. Select both of these, move these. This will be sort of like a 90-degree bend that we're going to have on our track. And then we're going to start bringing it home. So I'm just going to build around and go back to the start line. I'm actually going to do this backwards. So I'm going to go over to here. And we'll make it one longer. Actually, no, we won't. We'll... Ooh, should we do like a little turn in the track? Like, bank it a little bit? Ooh, that could be cool. So yeah, while you're like designing this, just be as creative as possible. Like, go wild, basically. I'm going to have a little jump here. Or actually, no, I'll have that later on in the course. So we're going to spin it around. I might do a sharper turn than that. And as you can see, it is sort of starting to take shape a little bit. It's a very mean corner here. And again, if you had more time, you can actually just do a way, way better job than me. But again, I'm just doing this just to demonstrate. So if you look at it from above, it actually looks pretty decent. We just need to do a few more things, and then we should be good to go. Rotate that around. Line that up. Is that lined up? Slightly off. But it's fine, because we can always go and fix that. Move this over. And we're actually going to drop this down. Oh, wrong. We'll do 15. Is that lower than what we was originally? I think it is. So what we're actually going to do is have a little platform here. And then we're just going to ever so slightly move it up. might be a little bit too aggressive there. This does look very, very weird. So I might actually just shrink that down just a bit. Lower this down. I'm actually going to expand this so it fills that little area there. So it's all about just getting it just right. And as you can see, I did do a little bit of banking there, which is pretty cool. Just going to rotate this. And so I have a little jump there. So obviously this little corner is a bit hodgepodge, but again, I'm just doing this for demonstration.